Hello. So I thought I would just take a little bit of time while Swift is loading to talk about coaching. So those that all have been subscribed for a while, firstly thank you. Those that have been subscribed more recently, welcome to the channel. Some of you may or may not know, I had a triathlon coach. So I've not actually talked about this in the last few weeks, but I have since let him go. Emotional breakup, I don't know what you call it. I'm no longer coached. There's no fallout or anything, no drama. But I just made the decision that coaching wasn't for me anymore at this point. So why was I coached initially? Well, 3 or 4 years ago, I sort of picked up the reins for triathlon, wanted a bit of direction. I had a different coach then, so I was about maybe a year or two into cycling. Was seeing some gains, but my mates were dropping me left, right, and centre. So I thought, what can I do to get fit? So James Walsgrove, who's an avid viewer of the channel, runs a company called Ride Harder. If you're in the east of England area, he's a great guy, bike fitter, coach, all those things. He did like a group sort of winter plan, so with the aim to peak in about May time. He set a cycling specific plan, about 6 hours of training a week, did all sorts of different sessions, real good stuff. And he made it a Facebook group, and people encourage each other and all those sorts of things. That was great. That was my first sort of step into being coached. I think I did that for two or three winters, so it just worked just for the winter. It worked well for me doing my first half Ironman of the year in May time, or going on to Mallorca, or just going out for on the road for the first time in the summer. It worked well for me. Obviously, you learn things when you do things. So after that, I thought, right, okay, I know a bit myself now, so I'll just teach myself. I'll just train myself. So I did that for a little while. Then as things get more serious, start going to half Ironmans, into Ironmans, going out with blokes on bikes and getting absolutely destroyed, and thinking, what can I do to get close to them other than losing weight? So I'd started seeing a guy for some physio, and this guy, the physio, is also a coach. Predominantly he's a time trialist. He's an triathlete. I quite like being coached by people or taking advice from people who are doing particularly well in their field. So in this example, this guy is an ex-triathlete. His marathon PB was 2:38. He rode a 3-hour 30 100-mile time trial at the age of 55, I think it was, and an all-round great guy and a physio. So anything I needed, whether it was injury, coaching advice, he was my go-to guy. So it was great. So it made absolute sense to be coached by him. The training that he set, in comparison to my first coach, was quite old school. There's a lot more. 3 times 20 minutes, do 2 hours at this power, run 12 miles steady, all that sort of training, which is a bit different to the training I've done in the past. However, I saw some great gains through that method of training. It really worked. Mentally, it's a bit tougher to get your arse out the door to go out and do a 2-hour steady run than it is go out and do a 3-mile warm-up, 2 miles at half marathon pace, 3-mile fartlek, and then warm down. Those sort of miles tick by a bit easier, but I don't necessarily believe if they're any better training or not. So his method of training seemed to work for me and was great, especially through the winter. I really was able to sort of stick to the plan that's safe for injury and swimming, and it seemed to work for me. Fast forward to this spring, so I actually was coached by him for about a year. Fast forward to this spring, we've moved house. I'm a lot closer to some cycling groups, some triathlon groups, some running groups, and I thought I trained hard on my own. And you guys have seen me absolutely busting a gut in here, pushing on the bike, pushing on the treadmill, going out my own, training hard. I thought that is it. You think you've absolutely wrung the flannel dry. Well, let me tell you, you haven't. When you go out with a group and you go on a chain gang, or you go and do a track session, or you go do whatever, you always find that a little bit more, and I don't think you can squeeze that out yourself no matter how mentally tough you are. You just can't push yourself as hard, and I think there's a real benefit to that. So since we've moved, you've probably noticed through the style of the vlogs has changed a little bit. I've got a chain gang I can go on a Wednesday night, a chain gang I can go out on a Thursday night, and a chain gang I can go out on a Friday night, and I've also got the option of a hilly ride on a Wednesday, a long ride on a Sunday, track session on a Tuesday night, swimming whenever. I've got all these groups which are all probably better than me, so it pushes me on each time I go with them, and it's absolutely awesome, particularly while the weather's good. So what I did was I sort of thought, okay, I can see how it goes for a few weeks, see if I can sort of slot my coach training in and around that training, see if I can sort of merge some of it, and it just never really worked. I was always trying to play catch up, or I was always just not doing the sessions that my coach had set me, and I sort of thought I need to do one or the other. Like, I either need to buy into the coach process fully and follow that, or train with my mates, do what I enjoy, sort of keep some key sessions in mind and try and plan out out from events. So say 3 or 4 weeks out from an event, I might do a big brick session, and sort of structure my training like that for events, and make the decision between the two. So I weighed it up, and then I thought, I'm going to give it a go, coaching myself and training with friends for a while. Since doing that, sort of, I think it's probably 5 or 6 weeks ago, I've come on leaps and bounds. That's not saying that it's better than the coach training. I might be fitter now, but I'm actually going to perform better in an Ironman, who knows. But at the minute, I'm feeling great. The numbers are saying that I'm doing well. I'm loving riding with friends and going out and about on the roads, and it seems to be really working for me. So I'm back in the garage tonight just to an hour zone 2, so I'm going to try to keep some sort of structure. But other than that, I'm going out with groups quite a lot. When I go out with say you got a group ride, you can still do a session if you want to. So if you want to have a steadier ride, just have a steadier ride. I'm not too proud to get dropped off the back and say I'm just taking it easy tonight, lads, or I'm not taking it easy, I'm still off the back. You make it what you want to make it. When I do a Thursday night chain gang, the group is a lot stronger than me, and I tend to get dropped about a third of the way or halfway into the chain gang. So I ride it as a sort of a split session. So I'll go out, we'll do a warm up, I'll do chain gang, which is sort of like a VO2 max efforts intervals, and then when I get dropped, I'll have 5 or 10 minutes recovery, and then I ride it as like a hard tempo, so almost like a sweet spot. I'm probably too knackered to get to sweet spot, but I ride it like a hard tempo effort, and it's good training. Long Sunday rides, I'll do it mainly in sort of zone 2, might push a few of the climbs, and so on. So for me, at the minute, that is working extremely well, and I'm going to carry on like this. I'm going to go through some events this year, and I'm going to learn, because I think longer term, I would love to get into coaching. I've not got any qualifications, and I don't think I'm credible enough as an athlete to say, follow what I tell you to, because I know what's best. I don't yet. So I think I need to trial and error, keep training myself, and see how it goes throughout the year, and then maybe take that step in winter next year or something. So let me know. Are you guys coached? Does anybody else coach themselves? If so, what level do you coach yourself to? Do you have a structure, or do you just work it around training with friends? What do you do? I'm really interested to hear about what other people do training wise. So drop some comments in the comment section down below. Subscribe if you haven't done already, and I hope to see you soon and let you in on this journey where I hope to complete a couple of Ironman triathlons this year. So thanks for watching. See you later.